Not the best day to record a video when it's windy, but I had a little bit of an issue with my weed whacker. I'll show you the type right there. And first I thought it was actually the jet screws that were messed up on the carburetor, but I wanted to check the fuel and just dump it to make sure there's like no water in it. And I found out that the hose was completely ripped off, so this thing wasn't getting any gas whatsoever. So I got brand new lines here. Apparently the filter is still good, so I'm going to keep that. I got 2 lines. I'm going to snip them both off, put them back on, and the filter as well, and then reset the jet screws on the carburetor, and then try to start it and tune it from there. Gonna cut it off completely. Kind of sticks. There we go. So there's 2 lines here. As you can see, one is a little bit larger than the other. I'll show it to you. And the other one is smaller. That would be the largest one right there. And this would be the smallest one. But I ended up grabbing some soapy water. It should help lubricate it into the tank here. Pull it out, pushing it down. Pull it out. Okay. So I'm going to start with the big hose first. Try to jam that down here. It makes it easier to cut this at a 45-degree angle. Slide it into the tank and then pull it out a bit and then snip it straight off. Pushing it in enough, that way I can grab it with my finger and pull it upwards. Yep, I just did that. So you can see that? I'm going to put that on there. And I'm going to pull it back the other way again. I'm going to pull it till it's tight up the top. I just want to pull it right off. Just give it a little extra room in there. So I don't know if you might be able to see it. There you go. See it? Just barely? It's in there. So I gave it a little bit of extra room to fiddle with. Probably about a ½ inch. Just maybe pull a little bit more, bring it to about 1/4. That's roughly around 1/4, so you can't see it now. Now this is actually the fuel line. That's a pretty small hole. Now this one actually lays at the bottom of the tank, and it's got the fuel filter on it. So I gotta make sure that I give it enough room, that way it can lay about roughly around here. Because the fuel filter is going to go right here, and the hose is going to go also right up. Okay, I don't know where it's sitting. Really can't see. Now I could have roughly guessed this before I pushed it in there. It's kind of silly that I didn't. Could have measured it and then put like a mark on here, that way I know where to stop, but I didn't do that. I'm going to roughly guess this. That way it helps me how far it is in the tank. Looking at roughly about 5 inches, so it's roughly around, wow, pretty close to right to the ending here, so I gotta stop. Fuel filter needs to be at the bottom of the tank, and this is it right here. Fuel filter on. Now I would normally use a heat gun. I do have one. Might still use it, I don't know, we'll see. Normally it would be easier using a heat gun, that way it slides right on there. Alright, so there you go. So that is on the tiny line, the smallest one. Okay, so that should be roughly about good. It is at the bottom of the tank, and it is located right here, right where I wanted it. So that's good. That's where I wanted it. It's at the bottom of the tank. Use this one. You bet. Alright. Get that little bit set. Really nice. You want to know something that's really pathetic? There is a carburetor screwdriver, which I don't fucking have, that apparently they pull them all off the shelves because they don't want you to repair your shit. They want you to take it in for service. You're paying money. This is fucking stupid. Just wanted to double check. Top left should be large, and bottom right is the small. Yeah, roughly around there. Go that far. Want it out more. Debatingly. Measure twice, cut once. Want to be able to pull on them both together, and they're both sitting that same distance. Yeah, this makes it look more neat, more professional. And that one slid right on there. It's kind of awkward. Yeah, see, that's the one I pull on, quite tight together. You see that? Barely, but yeah. Yeah, so hoses are on, filter's in there, it's laying on the ground part. So good with that now. Now this thing can actually get fuel. But I got to work with the carburetor now since I was fucking with it. So I had to tweak my carburetor jet screws that were on there. I had to move them all the way to the clockwise position to close them, and then to counterclockwise 4 times in order to start it as factory default and then tweak it the way I wanted on the carburetor. So what I did is these little PC butt connectors here, what I did is I took half of it and I slammed into the vise and squeezed it. Why I did that is it actually gives you something to move around here. I would literally have a screwdriver for this, but it's so hard to get a screwdriver for this shit. Now this one here is my high and this one is my low. So as I said, I had to move it clockwise to close it and then move it counterclockwise 4 times just to get it started. I'm still tweaking it a little bit, but it's working a whole lot better than what it was. And in the tank, hoses, everything looks good. It's professional. It's the way it should be done. So let's start it up. Literally hard to run that damn thing with one hand. There is one other thing I need to do to this weed whacker. I don't know if this one's gonna work, but I can give it a shot. I need to clean this thing out, and I'm gonna grab some fine sandpaper and I'm gonna try to clean the plastic as best as possible. That way Gorilla Glue would actually make contact with it, and we'll see if this thing actually holds together. So I'm gonna start cleaning it. Okay, so right here I have a pipe strap. This is actually for downspouts on an eavesdrop, and I'm going to use this in order to line this up and keep it in place. So roughly around there. So there's my patch. Like, this is only a quick fix. This is just a brace. I am using Gorilla Glue on this just to fix it. So I want to make a mark. I'm going to be putting it. Let's put this on right now. And I'm going to mark out the holes, and I'm going to drill them And then I'm just going to put this off to the side. So when I get the Gorilla Glue in, then I can slide this over real quick. And then I put my screws in. Apparently this shit is supposed to be a hell of a lot better than using crazy glue. Alright, now I'm going to slide this over. Put a screw in. Make some beers and then come back. It doesn't seem to be sticking with this plastic very well, so I'm just going to wipe it off a bit. Like, I know it's good glue, it just doesn't work with this shit on here. So what I'm going to do is wipe it off here, get rid of it. I'm grabbing some of that ABS glue and I'm just going to fucking use it. Alright, so this is the finished piece. And it's green. It will go down here like so. As you can see, works perfect. Perfect. As long as it's functional and does exactly what it's supposed to do. Alright. I'm glad that is fixed. It's now sturdy. And hopefully that weed whacker is going to have a hell of a lot more years left to go in it. Have a good one.